Hi, my name is Julianne Wood, and I'm the author of More Than a Lemonade Stand and creator of the Biz Ops Game. And one of the things that I find the most difficult when teaching is remembering how to set up something that you don't do every single day. So you want to do this great activity, and then you pull it out and you're like, oh, how did I set that up? I can't remember. So what I want to do is help you with the Biz Ops Game. So if you're using the Biz Ops Game in your classroom, these are some simple steps that will help you so that you can set it up quickly and be able to use it more often in your classroom. So here we have our Biz Ops Game set up. And remember, it all comes in this nice little kit, so you can just pull everything out and put the game together. So the first thing you want to do is you want to set up the bank, which is just basically pulling money out and having someone there to use the money for the bank and giving the kids a loan and having their money exchanges. Then you want the wholesaler, and the wholesaler is the one that has the raw materials. Right on your envelope, it actually tells you large sheets are 100 and small sheets are 30. So it's very simple. You just pull that out. You might have the same person be the bank and the wholesaler and all of your roles, but if you have more than one helper, then they can each have their own set, and then they have to share the money. Then the next thing is the office supply store. So all you need to do is pull out the board and then pull out all of the office supplies that come with it. The markers, the scissors, all of that. And have that available so when the kids come to buy their office supplies, you have it. Then the last thing is you want to have a customer area. So when the kids come up and they demonstrate their airplanes and fly them on the runway, you need to have a space for the customer and have money available. And then that should be next to your runway. So you're going to use your duct tape to create your runway. I usually do about 15 feet long. It doesn't have to be exact. And then do an X with about 2 feet with each of the sides of the X's. And then that way you have a really good runway for them to test and fly their airplanes on. So the next thing I do is I divide the kids up into teams of 4 or 5. It depends on if they're a new group. A lot of times I'll just let them do the table that they're sitting at. If they're not a new group and they're kind of have their friends and stuff, then I might have them count off and divide into other teams so that they can learn how to work together with other kids. And then I explain that they're going to be running a paper airplane transportation business, and so that they know that. Then each team starts with your $200 loan. So they have $200, they have a roll sheet, they have a financial sheet, and then they have a game board. And the game board should have the little sticky thing on it so that they can move around and know where they're at. So it's just kind of a reminder. So that's what each team gets to start with. Once they have that, then you're ready to have them come up with a name. So I give them 2 minutes to come up with a name for their company. And so then once they've done that, I write them on the board, and then we start playing the game. Now that we have the game all set up, we're ready to start playing. So the first thing is that the kids need to assign roles. And this is a really good time to talk about the roles that are needed in a business, especially if this is being used as an intro to entrepreneurship. Then you can go through all of the roles on the sheet and talk about what each person does and how they contribute to the company. The other thing that's on the role sheet is some themes. So each level of the game has a specific theme, and it's kind of like a customer request. So they have to listen to the customer and be able to do that. Then after they've done that, then the next thing they're going to do is they're going to plan for spending. So they have a financial sheet, and the top of the financial sheet is all budget. So each level of the game, so there's 5 levels to the game, they will plan and budget their money. And what they're planning for is their raw materials, which is the blank pieces of paper to make their paper airplanes, the office supplies, and what they might use the office supplies for are decorating their airplanes based on the themes. There's also scissors. So some of the teams do buy scissors to cut up their large papers into smaller. There's some pens, because one of the things I didn't mention in the very beginning is all they can have is one writing utensil for their game. So they can buy more pens at the office supply. There's rulers, There's paper clips, so if they need to weight down their paper airplane, they can buy those. And usually I let them use the paper clips through the whole game. So, and all the office supplies. So once they have them, those are theirs to use for the whole game. The other thing they need to plan for is savings. What are they going to save so they can pay back their loan? And there's actually a benefit to paying it back faster. So if they pay it all back on the level 1, they don't have to pay any interest. If level 2, they pay $10. Then they level 3, they pay $20. So on and on. So they get a discount, and that's in the facilitator guide, but they get a discount if they pay their loan back faster. And also donating to a cause. One of the things is we try to promote that they give back. So we want them to pick a charity and then donate a certain amount of money to the charity, just to have that in their repertoire of like thinking about business and giving back. Then what happens is they follow the game board together. So it's not a race. It's not a race to see who can make the most airplanes and get them done faster and all of that. It's all done sort of simultaneously, and the teacher is the facilitator. So what happens is you just kind of go through each space on the thing. So like the first one is plan, and we already talked about the planning. And then the next one would be buy raw materials and office supplies. So in the roles, one of the persons is actually like a purchaser or a buyer. They're going to go buy the raw materials and the office supplies. So everyone does that at the same time. And then the teams will design, make, and test their airplanes. So they can design them, they can make them, they can test them on the runway, but they only have about 3 minutes to do that because each level should only take about 10 minutes total. So it's a very fast-paced game, and the facilitator needs to be the timekeeper also. Then they can sell their products. So this is the salesperson's job. Once in a while, they'll bring another person up, and I'm usually trying to encourage them that the salesperson role is to sell. And so then I teach them things like handshake. Make sure they give me a handshake. Make sure they give me an introduction of their name and their company. So they're learning sales skills at the same time and business communication skills at the same time that they're selling. I also might tell them something like, oh, I'd love to see a business card next week. Things like that. So to see if they're listening, and then they're telling their team. Then the next square is repay your loan and donate to charity. So then they go to the banker. They might repay their loan. They might donate to charity, and the banker keeps track of that. And then they relax and rest. One of the things that they do need to do is once they sell, they need to track all of their actuals. So when they buy something, an expense, they need to track that on their financial sheet. So the accountant is a really important role in this game because they're tracking all of that. They're making sure that it's all written down. And then I have a relax and rest. And the reason I do this is sometimes when they're playing, they're having a lot of fun, they're learning a lot of things, but they can get a little loud. So what I do is I'll do the relax and rest, and I just have them be quiet for 30 seconds, and it calms them all the way down. They go to the starting level of their noise, and then it starts building again. So you follow that through the whole time. You might not get to all 5 levels. You don't have to play all 5 levels. You could play 3 levels if that's all the time that you have. But they should only take about 10 minutes, so it's really fast. So they're learning that they have to be efficient with their time. Hopefully they're improving their processes along the way. And then at the end, they're going to total up their quantity sold, their dollars that they made in the selling, and they were tracking this the whole way, so it should only just be simple addition. And then their net profit, which is their sales less their expenses to get their net profit. And then the one with the most profit wins. So then we just take a little time and debrief the game. Like, what did they learn? What did they improve on? You know, all the different things that they did about business. So I hope that helps you implement the Biz Ops game.